What's up, traders? Andrew O'Connell here with Pristine Capital. Welcome to your market recap video. It's July 8th of 2022. Not gonna lie, it is the evening time. We are releasing this video very late in the evening. As you may have heard from prior videos, I'm in New York right now working through some issues at home, some family problems had to deal with. So we're going to be back to our regularly scheduled programming next week, but I appreciate your patience as we work through this. Let's talk through today's price action. We'll take a look at my open positions, and let's talk through the weekend, what to expect moving forward, etc. All right, so our S&P 500, we had a pretty choppy session today. The SPY was down 0.08%. Our Nasdaq QQQ was up a smidge, up 0.13%. Our IWM small caps basically a flat finish here. Dow Jones down 0.16%. Our ARK Innovation ETF also pretty much flat, up 0.06%. You can see pretty much all of these indices, aside from the Nasdaq, closed right around the center of their day's range. And you can see we had a volatility contraction across the board. Percentage advancers, we did have sub 50% breadth in the small caps, but overall not too bad of a picture here. And we had 37% of volume. My trend model remains at a +3. In summation, what does this all mean? All it means is we've had a pretty nice rally over the last couple days, really the last week. And even when you're in the most bullish sequence in the market, you're going to have some choppy days, some pullback days. This really just seems pretty par for the course. Finviz heat map, Tesla was an outperformer today, up 2.54%. You can see pretty much everything else pretty choppy, mostly just very shallow pullbacks, like Microsoft, for example, down 0.28%. Sectors, very similar scene here. Our emerging markets, internet and e-commerce, was down 1.84%. We can see that our China stocks, our KWEB ETF, is now no longer in our top momentum slot, which is all right. But we can see that these biotech names had a really nice day. The solar stocks also had a very nice day, and I have exposure to both of those groups, which is great. Style factors mixed across the board. Again, just pullbacks really everywhere. International value was up, and momentum was a leader, up 0.16%. Now let's take a look at these headline indices. We'll just assess where we currently are in their trajectory. S&P 500, we're sandwiched in between the 20-day simple moving average as well as the 50-day simple moving average. And that 50-day also has a confluence at this monthly value area high of about 39.72.5. At this point, I think it's very highly likely that we are going to get a test of this 50-day simple moving average. And I've been very aggressive off of these market lows. If you've been watching these videos, really ever since mid-May, I started getting very aggressive in some of these growth stocks. And now we are starting to see some of those trends really taking hold. Our Nasdaq has been outperforming as of late, and that likely has something to do with the fact that these inflation concerns are starting to abate. You can see here we made a higher low in the Nasdaq, and the Nasdaq already hit its destination of that 50-day simple moving average. Our Russell 2000 is also approaching the 50-day simple moving average, and our dogs of the Dow, what are they doing? Take a look here. The dogs of the Dow also smack dab in the middle of the 20-day simple moving average, as well as the 50-day simple moving average. We're starting to see a lot of stocks moving off to the upside. Like, for instance, Enphase. This is one of my core positions via options. You can see I have an alert set here at $220 a share. And at that point, I want to close out my call options, perhaps either roll them or just move them into common stock. So here's my game plan. So you can see my position log right here. I post this every single day for Pristine Capital members. And check this out. So right now I'm pretty aggressively positioned in options. So look at this. You can see I have like 9 options trades on at the same time. Enphase is one of my 3-star core positions. And we're getting to a phase where we had great trade location on most of these positions. But at this point in time, at a certain level, it's going to get to a point where I'm not going to be as comfortable holding all long options exposure once I feel like that edge is no longer so asymmetrical. So what I want to do, and my goal over the next week, likely 2 weeks, as we start tagging the 50-day simple moving average, we're making the upward progress and we're breaking everyone's expectations. All these perma bears, all these inflationistas, as they're just getting thrown off sides, I want to start transitioning this portfolio from primarily the options that I'm currently in more so to these common stock positions. And there's definitely a couple of these common stocks where I'm holding on to these, like Global E, for instance. I really think that I can double bag this stock at the very least. For my trading strategy, it's not as important to like catch every little minor wiggle in the market. Like for instance, today, I'm sure there's some traders that they're like, oh man, like I'm getting out of all my longs. The S&P 500 at one point it was down, 0.3%. That's a big move, and they're trying to ebb and flow with every single move of the market. For my strategy and really what I've become accustomed to, it works the best for my personality. I'm not that short term. Don't get me wrong, I'm technically a short term trader, but my mind works the best when I'm thinking about, 3 weeks ahead, 3 months ahead, 6 months ahead, those kinds of time frames, rather than, an intraday time frame or like what's going to happen tomorrow, that sort of thing. And that really just helps me. So, like, as I look at this price action, even if, let's say, on Monday the market's down 0.5%, or let's say, Lord forbid, we retest this 20-day simple moving average, I think it's just important to be able to see the bigger picture and what's happening off of these lows. Now, also keep in mind, I'm going to be putting out this weekend our weekend market analysis video that's going to go out likely on Sunday, as well as our weekend watch list video that's going to be for all Pristine Capital members. If you're interested in getting the live trade alerts, you want to take part in the weekend market analysis, our Discord trading room, you want access to all these resources, feel free to go ahead to pristinecapital.net. We would love to have you. Another thing I just want to touch on as well before we break here for the night. This has been sort of like a challenging week for me just in terms of having a lot of other obligations aside from trading. And so I appreciate everyone for having the patience and, really just all that stuff as I navigate this situation. What's very interesting, though, is as a swing trader, the beautiful thing is that you might have a lot of life obligations at a certain time, and maybe you can't spend like the full 6.5 hours on the desk. Maybe you get 2 hours on the desk or whatever it might be. Maybe you're popping in and out as I have been. Like, I'll give you an example. Like throughout this whole like tail end of the week that I've been in New York, like I'm going back and forth from an Airbnb to my parents' house and talking to a contractor because their house is basically being gutted, and just a lot of things in between, a lot of chores and stuff. But what's beautiful about being more of like a swing and position trader is that it's not negatively impacting my performance or anything that I'm doing at all. And the reason why is because I'm for the most part in the position that I want to be in. And as a swing trader, once you get in position, that's really all you have to do. Your work is pretty much done. Then the work becomes not stopping out on the little wiggles, right? That can be very, very difficult. And so, we'll see what happens. But trades for today, take a look here. Here's what I did. So I got long. So yesterday, you'll notice like I closed out my SPY calls. They were very, very short dated. Today, towards the lows of the day at 9:55, I got long the SPY 386. August 19th calls for 1294. And then I also got long another trade, UUP. This is our dollar index. I got long some September 16th 29 strike puts for 84 cents. And this trade idea, this was actually brought forth by one of our founding members, BDY. BDY, he's an absolute gem. He's a former floor trader, and he traded in the treasury pit. So he's just an absolute legend of a trader. Very old school. Love his energy. Love what he brings to the table. And he actually proposed this dollar short. See, I just wrote a funny little note in here. If I win this trade, I blame myself. If I lose, I blame BDY. So yeah, it's pretty fun just like being in the community. I absolutely love it. Just working with people that, they share a similar interest and we all want to excel. That's like the key thing. It really excites me, for everyone that's newer to the group and, just contributing. This is super exciting to me. How we have like a group, everyone is striving, everyone wants to win. and everyone wants to help each other along that process. That's absolutely awesome. So I appreciate everyone that's in the community. Also appreciate everyone that just takes the time to watch these videos and leave comments and just anything positive. And even just everyone on Twitter, like my whole Twitter community, you guys are amazing as well. So I'm going to leave you off on that. Keep in mind, I'm going to be doing a ton of analysis this weekend. I'm actually super pumped to just go through a lot of this stuff now that the markets are closed and I can just look at it objectively. So I hope everyone enjoy the rest of your night. You guys are awesome. And until next time, have a great night, everyone.